Welcome to another episode of Cold Steel's Deadliest Weapons. On today's show, we're talking about the Chinese war sword, one of Lynn's favorites. But we've got some sweepstakes winners we have to announce. First of all, with the plethora of weapons, that was Mike McGee won that one. And what was Mike winning?
A Magnum Tanto.
Mike, you're getting a Magnum Tanto. Then we gave away 2 holdouts on this last one, and they're going to handle names of Cloud9 and Xander Park. Xander Park being spelled with an X, okay? You 3 need to email info@gsmorg.com and put in the title line, Cold Steel Sweepstakes winners. Are we doing anything else this time?
We're doing yet another giveaway. We're going to be giving away 2 leatherneck Tantos.
2 of them.
All you need to do is like, share, and comment.
That's it. 3 simple steps. Can't get any easier than that. Let's jump out with Lynn and see what he's got to say about the Chinese war sword.
I'm really excited to get a chance to talk about the Chinese war sword and tell you why I think it's one of the deadliest swords that Cold Steel makes, and I think the deadliest sword in the world, period, paragraph. The first thing I want to talk about is this blade. This blade is almost 3 inches wide right here at the widest point. It's flat ground from the spine over here all the way to the edge. So it has a beautiful shallow V cross section. And it's wide, not narrow. So it shears into the subjects being cut, the materials being cut. It shears in beautifully. It's got a continuous curve to the edge. From here at the guard, all the way to this point, it's continuously curved. That concentrates the blow and the force on a single part of the edge to start the cut. And then as you pull through, that widens till the whole blade comes through the medium being cut. The Chinese war sword is as close to a lightsaber that you're going to get on this world right now. I would love to have a lightsaber, and if anyone makes one, I'll be the first buyer. But failing that, this thing outcuts any sword that we've ever used at Cold Steel. It outcuts all the katanas, it outcuts a great sword, it outcuts everything because of the continuous curve, the cross section of the blade, the width of the blade, the way the tip terminates, the length of the handle. It all comes together, and the weight, it all comes together in a package that's highly, highly conducive to cutting and chopping. I can't say enough about it. And for the money, you cannot duplicate this at home.
Cold Steel's Chinese war sword. You guys all know this. You've seen Lynn Thompson hack through everything on the planet with this sword. A deadly sword in history, harkening back to the Kwando, which was a Chinese polearm, which was basically a horse cutter. A lot of people have the misnomer and make the mistake of thinking that a Kwando was something that was used from horseback. It wasn't really used from horseback, it was used on horsemen. So if cavalry was coming in and I had something almost exactly like this, but the handle was that much longer, I stepped off to the side, lopped the horse's legs off, watched the cavalryman fly 20 feet forward and break his neck tumbling on the ground. And if for some reason he didn't break his neck, I walked up and I cleaved him in half. In the 17 and 1800s, clear up into the 1900s, the Chinese war sword was a deadly weapon. This weapon was given to soldiers as a melee weapon, where it was basically given to people that were like shock troops. So the first wave, there'd be 50 guys wielding this sword, and they just came in and cleaved and chopped through everything. There was no dancing back and forth. This is not a weapon that you fence with. This is something that you chop off limbs and heads with, and it became known for that. This weapon was no joke. The blade was extremely wide, flat ground to a zero grind from the edge all the way to the back of the spine, which means that there's no resistance when it comes to cutting. It destroys what it comes into contact with and survives afterwards. The Chinese War Sword by Cold Steel.
Thanks, Luke. That was the Chinese War Sword. I need you guys to remember to like, share, and comment.
Hey, make sure you join us next time when we talk about another piece of deadly steel.